theirs.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Buenos dias.
There you go.
There you go. Uh, good morning, man. Welcome to Stay Uncomfortable for those of you who are listening right now. The show where we decide to ask the uncomfortable questions and have uncomfortable conversations every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah, even though today I don't feel like it's going to be that much of an uncomfortable conversation.
Nah, we're gonna have a very good, just wholehearted,
It's a wholesome
entertaining
conversation. Yeah, it might not be a long one today, but it'll be a good one. But before we get there, bro, let's do the wellness check, wellness meter, wellness score.
Mm, wellness check.
We're still deciding on what to call it, so I think the wellness check works. Okay,
It has a little ring to it.
it has a little ring to it, you know.
The uncomfortable meter. Nah.
Yeah, no, nah. How comfy are you? Nah.
Nah.
Wellness check. Let's stick with wellness check for
Yeah.
now, unless we come up with something better that we can trademark later along.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, man. Tell me.
Going on with me?
Yeah.
It's been I always forget what day it is, but it's Thursday. My week has been. I've been tired. I don't know why. Like, not
I can
tired.
tell you right now.
I can not tired, but I've been,
Daylight savings.
probably because I woke up Sunday. It happened Saturday into Sunday, and I
Mhm.
woke up Sunday and I was like, yeah, I'm not 1 hour of sleep. I'm missing it. But I mean, overall, just it's been a good week. Just minus that part. I don't know why I've been so sleepy. That's what it is. Not sleepy. I just been
You just been drained. You just
yeah,
been
I just
tired,
been
man.
drained.
Yeah, that's how it works. Like
So
honestly, when you that hour of sleep that we lost, that has nothing to do with it. It's the fact
no.
that the sun is in a different position at a certain time, and our bodies are used to it being at a certain time there.
Yeah,
So
we got daylight savings, and people still lack belief in God. Like how everything just aligns perfectly. How on a specific day, like everything just.
you know what's funny? This is the only country in the world that does that. The only country in the world who does daylight savings.
Eh.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it technically happens in other countries. They just don't really.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
yeah. But
There's a state that does not do daylight savings though. They're like, nope. I think it's Arizona.
whatever. The dry ass desert over there.
Yeah. Hey, I would like to visit Arizona one time.
I've seen somebody frying an egg on a car. I don't know if I want to do that.
You could do that in PA sometimes. Yeah, bro.
Anyway, brother. Let me give these rankings out real quick. Mentally, and emotionally, I'm like a good 5. Nah, I'm a good 6.
6.
I'm a good 6 today. Spiritually, I give myself a 6 as well.
Okay.
Haven't really dedicated that much time to God, unfortunately. What it was physically, I got some 6s in here. Physically, I'm a 6 too. I kind of been slacking in the gym a little bit, and I think that's it.
That's it.
So we got 6
Across the board.
across the board.
I would add a 7 in there just because. Just for those people who might be, I don't like that number, whatever. Oh, so you got 3 6s. All right. I want to ask you something before I give you mine. The spiritual one.
Mm.
I was thinking, do you notice how we're still performance based Christians?
Yeah, I know.
You notice that, right?
Yeah,
You don't have an issue with that?
I don't have an issue with that just because I feel like that's not really the case. That's just kind of how it comes out. But in reality, we're humans and we feel things. Obviously, if I last a whole week without prayer or reading my Bible,
Yeah.
I'm in my spirit. I'm gonna feel away.
Of course.
So that's really what it. That's kind of what I mean by it.
Then shouldn't we tally the spiritual score maybe not based on what we do, but based on how close we are to God?
Yeah, but that closeness to God, where is it? Where are we gonna base that off of?
Certainly not off of anything that I can do.
I mean,
Because
obviously not.
I don't know. I understand why we do it and I will keep doing it just because it makes sense. to
Yeah.
us, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It shouldn't make
No,
sense.
I definitely know what you mean. I
You
know
know,
what you
and
mean.
I don't want to go down a philosophical rabbit hole
Yeah.
right now, but
Yeah.
it's just so weird to me how, based on how many times we pray in a week, how many times we read the Bible, that determines we put
Yeah.
it on a and I feel like it's not that arbitrary. That's the only thing
It's
I'm
not.
I'm thinking.
It's just humans are just like that, bro. Like it'll only take one thing
Yeah.
to kind of ruin a human's week. Like we could have the greatest week, 7 days in a week. Like you got to raise at work. Your wife kicked you your favorite meal. Your kids aren't bothering you. Then one thing will happen. The car will break down, and automatically your week is you forget about everything that just happened. That's good in
Yeah.
your week. So that's kind of how we do it. I remember when I was very, just a side note, when I was very into porn and stuff. I could
Right.
have the best week
Ruined and
ruined just because I watched one porn video.
yeah. And
Does that measure up where I am class close to God? Maybe, maybe not. Depends how you look at it.
do you feel like we're applying, because you mentioned like marriage right now. We talked about, but do you feel like our tally and our way of scoring our relationship with God is the way it is because we apply a transactional format to our relationship with God? Even though we know that it is not a transactional relationship, like there's nothing I can do
No,
to pay off what God has done for me,
no.
basically. But we still think about it though. We still like, oh my God, if I didn't pray this week, how must God feel? And the only thing I can think of is like God really misses me. But
Yeah,
I don't think he's ready to like strike us down. I know I'm going a little bit overboard with this,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel like it's so weird that we, for example, me, I struggle with not seeing my relationship with God in a transactional way. Shoot, I struggle sometimes with not seeing my relationship with Carmen in a non-transactional way because I'm against transactional relationships. I feel
Right.
like it's all an investment,
Yeah,
you know. But then God, like the grace that we experience through God, like you say, irrational grace,
yeah,
it's such a something that we can't fathom half the time
yeah.
because we know, like it's so weird. Like if you have a friend that you do not message for, let's say, 5 years, and then you go off and message them, you think they're gonna be like, oh, what does he want now?
Yeah.
But with God, it's not like
It's not
that.
like that.
It's like, oh, hey, I missed you.
I think it's just it really is just more within ourselves because like n- I don't know. I think it's also the desire. Like there's probably people who do have the habit of praying all 5 days, 7
Yeah,
days of the week. And they still might not be as spiritual. Like they might not still be as close to God as they think they are, just because now it's more of a
a
it.
religion than
Yeah,
anything
it's more
else.
than a religion. So
Which,
so I
yeah,
guess it's good that we at least have the desire in us. Like the word says. So
that's true. Um, I have an idea for a skit. That's just God in a coffee shop waiting for us to come through, and we never do. And one day we come through, and God says, "Yeah, I was waiting for you.
I think
Sit,
we should do that.
sit down and talk."
I think we should do that.
That's a good idea, right?
Yeah. And then when maybe have, like, you see how in SpongeBob it says like 1 minute later. Like we could have like 1 month later, two
Yeah,
months later, and God is still just there in the coffee shop. Like,
they're just waiting for us.
yeah,
But then we get there, we sit down, and we're
yeah,
scrolling. We're not really paying attention,
yeah,
and then we get a little bit like, "Why are you even here? What are you doing?" Like,
yeah.
then it's like,
I think
I just want to spend time with you, and this is the time that
I think we could. I think we. Hey man, God might have gave you that idea right there.
All right, I might flesh it out. Now let's do my wellness check.
Yes, sir.
Uh, mentally, I'm drained. I'm exhausted. I am losing my eyesight. That's how exhausted I am.
I hope you're not being serious.
No, no, I'm just, whatever. That's just what it is. So I'm gonna give myself a 3
Mm,
mentally. Like I need to pull it together. But uh physically, I've been doing well. Since last time I weighed myself, I was down 8 pounds. So there's progress. Walking again the 2 miles a day,
mm,
sometimes less, sometimes more. Uh yeah. So physically I'm gonna give myself a 7. And spiritually I'm gonna give myself a 7. Just again, putting it on a meter.
Yeah, I feel you. So you think, since you asked me a question, kind of going back to a little bit of the like the spiritual talk before we go into the fun topic for today. Um, do you like? I feel like as Christians, we should really take Bible and like real like face value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever it does say like being tired and weary, I think it's important if we really believe those promises and those things that are said in the Bible
Like when
to
he says
us.
like cast all anxiety on Jesus, those who are tired and weary
Yeah,
come to
like
me. Yeah.
I feel like if we really read those things and not just, oh, it's a very good motivational quote, and
Yeah.
really just believed and kind of enforced ourselves or held on to those scriptures, I think they really do what they're meant to do, man.
Yeah. It's not just promises, bro. We can take it down to a science. Like if we have faith and we cast our anxieties on Christ and we go to God to renew our strength and we seek communion with him. The people who do that, I have seen them renew their strength in a matter of where did this come from? You were
Hmm.
and like, oh, I just gave it all to God, bro.
Right.
Like those people who truly, truly have a relationship with God, you can see the rest on their face,
Yeah.
the joy. You were praying a few minutes ago, and you were praying. You said, "God, give us joy because it is a fruit of the spirit." And I'm like, yo, we don't really consider that to be a fruit of the spirit. That it just goes under the radar. We think, oh, we just, we're supposed to be happy. No, no. Being joyful, not happiness. Happiness and joy are two different things.
Yeah.
But being joyful is a legitimate fruit of the spirit, meaning
Yeah.
that if we were to spend more time with God, we would be more joyful throughout the day, throughout our lives. More things wouldn't bring us down. We would have better perspectives
Yeah.
and outlooks on life.
And it wouldn't be based on a moment
No.
of just an activity that we're doing.
In fact, joy is the complete opposite because here's the thing: happiness is based on the moment.
Yeah.
It's like I get a paycheck, I'm happy. By the way, those people who say that money doesn't make you happy, you're shopping in the wrong places. That's all I'm gonna say. And if money doesn't make you happy, it means that it makes you sad. So when you get paid, give me the paycheck, and I'll handle that. Money makes me happy. It doesn't give me joy though.
Right.
So like just the the happiness when I see that direct deposit, it fleets. It goes away as soon as the bill starts to get
Mm.
dinged too. You see,
Yeah.
but then the joy is like, well, at least I'm employed. I'm happy. I'm doing what God allows me to do. And if I ever do become unemployed, which has happened, well, none of us are exempt to that, then God will provide. It's the faith in the fact that your source of joy doesn't come from anything that we can do.
Hmm.
It comes from God, which means it's unmovable, which is why it's a fruit of the spirit.
Yes, sir.
Man, we're preaching this one. I don't know what's going on. What's in
Yes,
this
sir.
call?
That might be an episode in itself.
Mm-hmm. We
But
can really go through the fruits of the
the
spirit.
same way we did Psalms 101, I think we could
Yeah,
one of these days.
absolutely. I actually have them pulled up right here, but we're not doing it today, but whatever. Anyway, do you have a question for me today?
I do. What would your younger self not believe about your life today?
Well, that's a great question, man.
You want me to answer first? Because I already have mine.
Go ahead.
What you think? My younger self would not believe that I'm not homeless right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, somebody with such nice handwriting like you think that's for this? No,
Bro,
man.
you know what it was? I was so bad at school.
Hmm.
And back then, the only way anybody could be successful, like there was really no social, not that I'm that old, but like there was
Right.
really no going viral social media. And if it was, like that was very like impossible.
Hmm.
Now in reality, anybody can go viral with anything.
That's
So
true.
I'm like, dang, I'm not the best academically. My baseball career is slowly like fleeting,
I was there for that.
which was a very hard thing for me to let go of.
It was.
And I was
Did we
like,
let go of it? That's gone.
yeah, I think it's
It's
gone.
gone.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I still love the sport, but just the reality of like
Just for the record, we agree that baseball is the best sport, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, that's okay. Just making sure.
And yeah, that was just hard for me to let go. But I was like, I'm not good academically. Baseball's probably maybe not gonna work out from what it looks like. Eventually, I'm gonna be like, my bad, God for disrespecting my mom, thinking she was gonna put me out or anything like that. Cause
Hey, listen, tough love works sometimes, and maybe that's who we're expecting.
yeah. So I'm like, yo, I might be a bum in the future.
Really, bro?
That's what I thought.
Okay. Do you think that you thought that because of external influences? Like someone
No,
ever tell you that?
no. I just literally thought that I'm probably not gonna graduate college or high school.
Oh my god!
I'm probably like I don't even like nobody has even taught me how to pay bills or anything like that,
Right.
or even how to buy a property or even like put in an application for an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Like nobody has even taught me this. Like I might legit be in the streets one day,
Yo, this is crazy. I can't believe we're saying this right
bro. For real.
now. All right. I mean, all right. So,
Like life just looks so hard to me. Like being an adult looks
okay,
so hard
okay.
to
You
me.
see, that I understand. That I understand because I also felt the same thing with that was like elementary school.
Yeah, that's about the time
I
elementary middle.
I can actually recall a time where I said, am I gonna do this?" And I
Yeah,
remember, um, I was super motivated. It was we were like in the third grade and we are talking about whatever, and the principal of the school walked into the class and he was trying to give us a speech. Like, "Oh, you guys are starting at the ladder. You're gonna climb it. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine." And then my teacher thought it was a good idea to said, "Are you sure that's a really big ladder? They're in third grade
yo,
right now, and they have to go fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh." She started to count all the grades, and then when she got to college and she added 4 more years of that, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. This isn't
yeah. Because I
nah."
also didn't like anything in school. Like they don't really teach you about all the other majors that you can probably do.
I can probably steer this conversation into a whole
Yeah,
different thing because that's the fact that you thought that about yourself at such a young age just demonstrates the failed state that is the educational system of this country. Because I'm pretty sure you had passions and hobbies and talents when you were a kid. Maybe they weren't as fleshed out as they
yeah,
are now, but you still had some indicators of what you could do. For example, I was always musically inclined
right.
my entire life. The first instrument I learned when I was 8 years old, violin, right?
A violin.
Don't give me a violin now. I probably won't know what to do with it. But
Right.
but that was the first thing I learned how to do, and I advanced through the ranks very quickly amongst my peers. And I'm over here thinking, wow, if my teachers and the school would have been in a place where they would have pressed into my my talents,
Yeah.
what came easy to me as a student, who knows what path I would have taken in life. But then we have stupid things like general classes. We got uh SATs,
PSSAs.
PSA. Well, I think they're called Keystones now.
Yeah.
We got yeah, bro. Standardized tests are the reason why many kids don't think they can make it in life
Yeah.
because many of us are not built to be able to sit down, memorize things that we will never be able to talk about in our lives or never even have to use, and then oh yeah, so just tell me what the powerhouse of the cell is, mitochondria, whatever.
As if I'm gonna go into a biology major.
Exactly. And if you are, great. There should be paths forged for you
Yeah.
within school that you can follow and make it to your career that biology student does not have to take an art class.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I see exactly.
And then I'm like, okay, if you thought that you're going to be a bum, it's because you saw yourself comparing your academic success to everyone else around you. And if we're on an A through F system, then you're going to fall within one of like five different
And I was
scores.
like strictly like a good BC student,
And you see
and
that,
the B's were like the electives, like art,
which
gym.
means that you excelled in. Okay, all right. I'm a history nerd, right? And
Mm,
I like political sciences. I like history was my favorite subject.
okay.
We could talk about anything history, and the dumbest facts I just knew for no reason because my brain was built to retain those things. Math, though,
Mm. Mm.
don't get me wrong. I love geometry, but why did we start introducing letters to geometry?
I don't know.
Why did we start mixing these things? Math that doesn't even exist anymore. Do you know that math is still changing?
Really?
They're teaching different math in high school today than what you and I learned in high school.
I heard that the letters identify as numbers though. That's why.
Oh, well, that would do it.
Ah.
Uh, Manny, don't edit that out, please. Leave that in the video. I want people to unfollow this guy. Anyway, but yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
You know how vocal I am about the school system
Yeah.
and how it resembles more a prison Literally, schools around the nation were built by the same architects who built prisons around the nation. They resemble more prisons than they do a ground for breeding knowledge and creativity.
Hmm. I feel like the only people that get that privilege are the privileged. Like the people who can afford to go to certain schools that really are, they teach you things like that.
Yeah, well, it's common knowledge that the Rockefellers were the one who designed the school system. And it's a very famous quote. Again, common knowledge. It's a fact, not even a matter of opinion, where he says, why would I, and I'm going to butcher this, obviously, I'm paraphrasing, why would I want a nation of thinkers when I can have a nation of workers? The school system is designed to put us on the assembly line, on the Amazon factory line, which we've been through it, both
We've
of us
been through.
have.
Hmm.
And it's not a bad job, just so you know, we're not knocking down on any job. But how many people in that assembly line,
Probably had passions and
or probably still do, and would be great entrepreneurs, would be great business owners, have excellent ideas, but they have no idea how to start an LLC?
it's like I said once. I think I don't know if I said it here. I was talking to my family. I was like, you know how many guys I know that are drug dealers that have a great mentality for business.
Because they're salesmen, they're just selling the wrong thing.
Hmm.
It's literally, it goes down to that. You are good at something. What are you putting that talent to?
Exactly.
So, um, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, man. It's definitely one episode we gotta go into.
yeah, we will flesh that out for sure.
Yeah.
But those were the bad things that we had growing up, right? So that's your answer. You thought they were gonna,
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be homeless, bro.
man. What is something that I didn't?
No, it is something that your younger self can't believe that.
Can't believe about my current life.
Yeah, cannot believe about your life today.
Couple things. First and foremost, I can't believe I'm alive right now. Cause I was a stupid kid. I was a stupid kid, bro. I would mingle with the wrong people a lot of the time, and I think that's when my mom, she had to like deport us to the Dominican Republic for four
Every
years.
time you say that, I find that hilarious.
She had to
That she
send,
deported you.
she sent us over there, which is a great thing because that is where I had my first real encounter with God, with Christ. Here in New York, when we were living in New York, we started going to church. Mind you, my entire family Catholic, everyone. I was baptized in the Catholic Church, whatever. And when I was about 9, 10 years old, we started going to church, a
Hmm.
Christian church. My mom's friends started taking us, and that was so instrumental to the rest of my life because we started doing like services, like home services at her home every day. We would go downstairs from the first to the sorry, from the fourth to the first floor. We would read the Bible. We would sing some coritos. We would watch Bible Man and Veggie Tales and
Hmm.
whatever. We
Hmm.
would play some Super Mario Sunshine and we would go home.
Sounds like a good time.
It was. And then when I moved to DR, I was like, no, I'm a Christian. I want to keep going to church. And that's kind of what happened. But with that being said, I was a very, very curious kid.
Yeah, I wouldn't say stupid. Maybe curious.
Yeah, but then the stupid things I do, bro. One time, I'm gonna tell you this story. All right. One time, I lived on a fourth floor, right? Fourth floor apartment in New York City. And in the kitchen, there's a window. And I was peeking out the window, and I see all the way down on the first floor, there is a green basket of a green laundry basket, identical to one that we have in our home.
Okay.
And for some reason, I'm telling you, bro, I was dumb. I was like, oh, let me get it from the window. I'm getting it, and my mom like caught me, like from my legs dangling out the window.
Bro.
And then comes my brother, holds on to mommy. He had no strength. He's a kid. He's a toddler. He can't do nothing. And then my dad comes home from work and finds all of it just dangling.
Dangling. Yo,
But I'm telling you, I was not the brightest. I was not the brightest kid,
man was gonna kill his whole family.
bro. Straight up. It was gonna be what happened here. They're probably gonna blame my dad for it. But with that being said, I'll give it a little bit more, a more real answer. I'm surprised that I am married. I got married at the age that I did, which was 22, and that I have been able to keep the marriage going. Because even when I was getting married, I was terrified.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I have it in me? Am I the man that can learn how to communicate? Because as men, we know we are not,
Nothing about that.
we don't know nothing about communication. Not because we're bad communicators, but because growing up, we didn't have role models that taught us how to communicate. It was always the man does this, the woman does that. We never really saw our parents effectively communicate with each other. We never tried to effectively communicate with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
When we became adults, teenagers, still living at home, less and less was required of us. We
Yeah.
just did what we did. We got home, made sure that we didn't kill nobody along the way, and that was it.
That
That
was
was
it.
that was our day. So, yeah, I am surprised that. Well, my younger self would not believe that I am the man that currently uh, has a thriving marriage.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's funny or maybe a little insane the fact that even at a young age, people don't realize the type of thoughts that really go into like an elementary school kid or a middle school kid. And it might look like it's all fun and games, but low key there's a bit of pressure there to kind of make something of yourself and really, because we're dreamers. Humans were dreamers, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's the pressures to kind of be like, okay, I kind of know what I want to do. How do I go about it? And if I don't make it, what do I do afterwards?
That's the we are so influenced into needing a plan B
Mm-hmm.
all through our lives.
Yeah.
Because what? And here's the thing: I'm not against planning. I'm not against
No.
but it's like where's a little bit of faith that we should have in our dreams and ourselves? And I think it's ripped from us at a young age because we see so many people fail at what they wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then we associate our lives with them. Which is I've been so adamant about like whatever we're doing right now or any plans that I have in the future. Nah, my success rate is irrelevant to what other people do. Like for example, there's a statistic that people like to throw in my face all the time. Do you know how many people get divorced? Do you know how many marriages end in divorce? XYZ. I'm like, bro, other people do with their marriages is irrelevant to me because I'm
Yeah.
not participating in their marriages.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know.
I think it's important since the topic of today's TV dads.
Yeah.
I think just to end on that note, it's important. One of the reasons why I feel like young people do give up on their dreams so easily is because of how bitter other people around them are because they
Hmm.
didn't achieve theirs.
That's true.
So it's kind of like, oh, I wanted to be a baseball player and I didn't get to make it. So it's like now I have a son who potentially can be, and how bitter of me would it be to be like, stop doing that? Like I didn't make it and I was good. So what makes you think you gonna make it? You know what I mean?
That's the influence that we get from all those things.
Yeah.
That's really what forges our paths,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
And even then, like you ever, I don't know if you remember ever like doing a little thing, like a little questionnaire in your school that says, "Oh, what do you want to be when you're older?" Some kids will put astronaut or whatever, and like,
I have the wildest story about that.
and teachers would just be like, "Well, look at your paper, like, oh, you want to be a movie actor? Oh,
I,
well, okay."
I actually have the craziest story. Bro, teachers were out of their mind back in my day. I don't know what was going on. I remember I was really into that Jackie Chan show, Jackie Chan Adventures, the cartoon.
Yeah, the animated one.
Yeah, that was fire show.
It was fire.
Because of that, I was inspired. I wanted to be an archaeologist. Like, you know, as I say, history really fascinates me,
Right.
especially like things from the past.
That's cool.
That truly fascinates me. And then Jackie Chan, I kind of like was able to put that to paper. Oh, I can literally spend the rest of my life
Digging things up.
uncovering
Yeah.
history. Our teachers one day they tell us write down what you want to be when you grow up, just like you said. I start to write archaeologist. I don't know how to spell archaeologist. The
Which
principal,
you're in elementary school, right?
exactly. I'm
So
in elementary
that's
school.
cool. That's fine.
Not the principal, but a higher up person from the school walks in.
Like the superintendent.
Yeah, something like that. Because this was like an after school program.
Oh, okay.
And then she walks in. She starts to look at her papers just to see how the class is doing. And then she asks, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" "Oh, XYZ." And then I'm like, "Oh, but I don't know how to write archaeologist." She's like, "Oh, then pick something else." That day, I didn't want to be an archaeologist anymore. She killed my dream straight up. Like, she, instead of teaching me how to write it, or maybe she didn't know how to write it, and that's why she said, "Oh, pick something else." No, just
Pick something else.
pick something else.
Yeah. As if elementary schools, like as kids, we're not seeing this piece of paper as like something important to us.
Exactly. Like, we're putting our dreams down on paper.
Yes. Yes.
And you're telling me, no, don't do that because you can't spell it.
Yeah.
Basically, you're too stupid to even want to know how to do that, or
Yeah.
to even want to do that. Ridiculous, bro. Like, I think about that often.
We're gonna cook the school system one day.
Hell yeah, we're gonna cook the school
Actually,
system.
in the name of Jesus, we're gonna speak at school systems one day.
That's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
And I don't care who's there. Like, y'all are being scammed right now.
Yeah.
Y'all are sitting here in this auditorium. Y'all ate boiled hot dogs and milk for breakfast. Y'all sat through classes.
Because it's really breakfast.
That's what it is,
at like
bro.
8 in the morning.
10 o'clock in the morning, you're eating
pizza, chicken patties,
corn, the freaking
the fruit cup,
the fruit cups, which
Uh-huh.
are nasty or great. There's no in between. Milk of your choice and anything good that you might want to eat that you have to pay for.
you have to pay for.
And I'm like, it's
Which is still like chips and cookies and
a salad, bro. I had to, like, at the end of my high school career, I had to defer to only getting salads because everything that they had in there was garbage. But again, I digress.
So today we're gonna talk about what we spoke about last week.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about our favorite TV dads.
And why they're our favorite TV dads.
Yeah, we can go into why they're our favorite TV dads. You know, growing up, we're '90s kids. We had a lot of good examples of TV dads.
We truly did, man.
I feel bad for the kids nowadays because they got. Actually, they might be
Trash.
lucky because they might have two dads
Which are
in their TV shows.
Oh, wow. Wow, you really baited me into that one, man. I walked right into that one.
Kids nowadays have the chance of getting two TV dads.
Or no dads.
Or no TV dads, maybe two moms. I don't know. But I don't want to go down that slippery
Or
slope.
maybe they're figuring it out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they don't identify as parents.
I mean, wouldn't that be convenient?
But, bro, I love the 90s. I love being a 90s.
It's just,
I
bro,
know I made it. Oh, I almost didn't make it because I'm on 97.
I don't care
Nah.
that whole thing. Oh, if you were born in this, you're never.
Nah,
No,
I
you could be
enjoyed-
born December 31st, 1999, and you're a 90s kid.
Yeah.
That's how I consider.
Because the
it.
early 2000s were still
They were-
still good.
Yeah, they were tough. They were good.
Yeah.
But tell me, what's a good TV dad for you, bro?
I'm going to just go randomly here. I'm gonna throw a wild card at you, right?
Go ahead. There's no way. There's no way. He's on my list too. Say it.
Nah. I
Say
don't
it.
think so. Mufasa?
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else. Because I'm going to throw a wild card at you.
Nah, I think, yes, Mufasa from The Lion King.
Okay.
Yes. So why was he... Number one, that man, he was the lion. He was the king of all of the Sahara.
He was him.
He was him.
Yeah.
Literally. He was a provider. He was a good dad. He was like, you know, his son was born. He's like, yo, this is my son. This is who's going to come after me when I'm gone. And what I like, I know it's a biblical story, kind of. I kind of like that, the fact that even after he was dead, he was still guiding his son's path.
Yeah.
And he was just basically, he instilled in him in the future, he instilled in him as a young age, like, you know, when I'm gone, you're next.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to get that in your head right now. When I'm gone, you're next. So I'm going to teach you the ropes. I'm going to teach you what it takes to really be king of this whole thing. And, you know, we're gonna do this thing.
Yeah, so he helped Mufasa forge Simba's path.
Yeah. Mufasa helped forge.
Mufasa helped forge Simba's path. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about animals, bro, to be honest.
I mean, he was a dad.
I know.
That's why I kind of like, I was making the list. I was like, you know, probably people are gonna think of the regular sitcoms that, but I'm gonna throw a little wild card in there.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a wild card too, but that'll be later.
But yeah, I think Mufasa was a great dad. Did a good job.
Yeah, especially for Disney.
Yeah.
Disney back in the day had their things, because Even like in Aladdin, the Jasmine's dad was kind of, he was there.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that short guy?
Oh yeah. Okay,
You
yeah,
know, so he was there at least.
yeah.
And even Aladdin's dad was in the movie.
Like
So
a spinoff.
I think so. I'm pretty sure it was Aladdin 2,
No.
something like that.
Sequels ain't always as good as the originals.
Never. I mean,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
But who's your number one dad, bro?
Oh, we're ranking them like in
No, not
order.
number one. It's
Oh, I
just
was
like
about to
your
say,
your.
one of my favorite dads from the '90s, and maybe even '80s, you can consider this Danny Tanner, because we forget that this man was a single father, raising
Well,
3. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
DJ, the
DJ, Michelle,
Michelle, the
and the hot one.
what? Whoa, what
She
do you
was she was my childhood crush. One of them,
really?
Stephanie. There we go.
Stephanie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously,
DJ.
like when she got older.
Yeah, it was crazy though. And what I really liked about that show is that it was basically 3 men in a
Yeah,
home
the
dealing.
dynamic, right?
Yeah, it was like it's different. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I see that we're dealing with really good, uh, really untapped chemistry
yeah.
when it comes to like uncles raising girls.
Hmm.
Like there's not a woman in the home. I think a woman came later on.
Jesse's
Jesse's
wife.
girl, yeah,
Yeah,
who's in
Rebecca.
jail right now. It's crazy. See, that's something that my that my younger self wouldn't have
Yo,
believed. It's crazy. She basically tried to bribe her daughter into college. For those of you who don't know,
college should have just taken the money.
ridiculous. They did, bro.
And they found out.
I think they found out.
Oh,
But yeah,
I liked that dynamic a lot. Yeah. And you know what was even crazier is to think about the fact that it was a Caucasian home.
yeah,
So it made it like now as an adult looking at it now, like you don't really see too many single American white dads,
you don't.
and it was
I mean,
interesting.
you don't really see that many single dads. Period.
True.
It's mainly single mom or both parents in the
Yeah.
home, but the single father figure is like really
In his
not talked about.
Yeah. In his case, yeah, his wife died. That man used to give such good like advice
He does.
at the end of the episodes.
And
Like
the crazy thing though, like I remember,
R.I.P. Bob Saget, by the
yeah,
way.
for real. But in real life, that man was a potty mouth, bro.
Really?
He. It's just his vocabulary was disgusting, bro.
Dang, that's
Because
crazy.
he was a stand-up comic, right?
Yeah.
And he said he had to be so PG on the show that he felt like he had to get it out on stage. He would just randomly curse in the middle of. Just
Man
out of
had like
nowhere.
Tourette's.
Like no, for real, it looked like he had Tourette's. That's how he would do it. He would just get it out of the system,
Yo.
and that was kind of like
It kind of ruins a little bit of the
it.
essence.
It does. Which one of my other dads,
Yo.
one of my other dads, kind of ruined his image in my eyes too. But I am making it very clear. I am isolating the actor, from the
the role.
character that they played.
Yeah.
So we're acknowledging role models that we had. And back then, they probably weren't even doing what, we'll get into that later on.
Yeah.
But
he was like a clean freak. Like he was that man made it happen.
he did.
He definitely made it happen. Cuz it's not easy. Like we also got to think like 3 girls. Like if you got one boy in there, like maybe you can like but 3 girls, we got to deal with. He had to deal with realistically the emotional instability,
Dating.
dating, period. All this at the time, probably inequality amongst women.
Things
with
that
women.
he did not probably understand.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we know that this is all written script-wise,
Yeah,
but Danny Tanner is a character that I really commend.
yeah. So all the girl dads out there, you got this, bro. You got this. So my number 2, Uncle Phil.
Uncle Phil. Top tier. Like
Top tier.
that man was
We can. I know he's on your side, so we can kind of go back and forth
hell
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, go ahead.
Yo, Uncle Phil. First things first. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
For real.
Dang. Nah, but for real, James Avery, R.I.P. to that man. He was the epitome for us black men.
What a father should be.
Yo,
Straight up.
straight up.
the curveball, because here's the thing, we don't, and you know what? I'm gonna say something right now. Uncle Phil from the '90s and Uncle Phil from today from Bel Air,
Mm-hmm.
they are two completely different people. But I still give the current one his flowers too,
Yeah.
because he is more like, all right, we're gonna go back to James Avery, right? But the current Uncle Phil, he is more like businessman, get it done, make
Mm-hmm.
it happen for the family, and we still see his mistakes.
Okay.
We see his shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see that too much with Uncle Phil from the '90s.
No. Well, he was a bit of a apart from he was a bit of a workaholic a little bit. The
Yeah,
one from
yeah,
the '90s.
but not as much as you see him now. Have you seen Bel Air at all,
Mm-mm.
bro? It's such a good show.
It's
I had
on.
to give it a shot just because I'm like, I love the Fresh Prince,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not even loosely based on the Fresh Prince. It's
Right.
just a more gritty reboot version of the
Right.
Fresh Prince. So I'm like, let me see
I
it.
might watch it because I saw a clip that was interesting.
It's so good, bro. It's so good. The only thing I don't like, which is not really a spoiler because it's in the trailer, Carlton is kind of a a crackhead in the show. He's not a crackhead. He just has a substance abuse problem,
Okay.
which they're really fleshing that out from that one scene in the original where
Oh, where
he goes
he
into Will's locker. He
yeah
gets some, what is it?
speed,
Speed.
but it's
Got
really
him.
like I think it's like Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall. That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
Yo. All I'm saying is, it's a great show. It really is. And but Uncle Phil from the '90s, it was basically be the best you can. The biggest example I got for him: go through all the BS you have to go through now as a man,
Mm.
so that when you do make it, your kids can live off of your sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got.
And even then, though, he was still kind of like, you got to make your own path.
You have to, yeah.
Like, you got to, like, Hillary, you don't want to go to school. Okay.
Gotta go.
You got to do,
Gotta fly
exactly.
like Trevor.
Will, go to school. You can rent over in the pool house, but you got to, Carlton, college, Ashley, same thing.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. And I like that although he understood that, okay, we're wealthy.
Mhm.
I'm a judge, lawyer, whatever. But I like that he understood that you're not about to just come in here and
You're not
eat.
gonna freeload.
Yeah, you're not gonna freeload. Like, everybody carry their own load, and you guys are gonna grow up and you guys are gonna get out of here. And I want you guys to have the tools to be successful.
Uncle Phil inspired me. Just on that same note, for me to provide the necessary conditions for my children when they
Hmm.
come to be successful. Because a lot of people, they like to say, "Oh, you have a silver spoon. You were born with this, and that." And I would say, "Well, I'm sorry that my parents made the right decisions. I'm sorry that my parents stayed married. I'm sorry that
Hmm.
my parents did all they could so that I can have an easier life than you."
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I don't need to apologize for
Yeah.
that. And he really inspired me to make sure that I get it together, to make sure that my kids don't starve because of a bad decision that I make.
Yeah.
So I always think about that quote you told me that you do not remember telling me. That you told me one time, one day, your kids will either eat or starve because of a decision that you made today.
Yeah.
And really seeing how even somebody who came from a troubled home, from a troubled past, had to fly him out to Bel Air,
Yeah.
huyendo, because this man was getting in fights with drug dealers.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, you're my son now. I never saw like him Will being treated differently.
No, in the first episode, literally.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they had to get used to it, which I'm glad that they included that. Quincy Jones was a master at making sure that those dynamics were
Bro,
there.
and just my last thing on Uncle Phil, something that I hope that when I have kids one day, like, I can instill, and it's the fact that he was, especially on Will. Obviously, the Will was like the main character,
Yeah.
but I liked, and sometimes on Carlton, whatever. But I liked that he was tough,
Mm-hmm.
but when something would happen and the kids would be down on themselves and blame themselves for whatever it was the situation, he would come in with a lot of grace and a lot of love
Yes.
and let them know that, what you did, you messed up, you're gonna get grounded. This will pass, man, though. This will pass.
I
You
I,
learned your lesson from the situation.
I really like that. Yeah, that's true.
And, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm not gonna this angry big. I'm not gonna yell. Like, you're grounded, bro. You hope you learned your lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you don't do it again. But I still love you, and I'm still here to clean up your mess.
Yeah,
Because that's what a dad does.
that's what a dad does. Now, let's talk about current Uncle Phil. You might not know too much about this man.
I don't know anything about this man besides what you're just telling me now.
The current Uncle Phil is a lot more flawed than the 90s Uncle Phil because this is not a sitcom, it's a drama. He regularly is caught between communication, making the tough decisions, and being a loving father,
Mm.
even to Will. And what I like about the current dynamic we're not going to talk about, the show, but the current dynamic that they have with Will, between each other is okay, you came into my life, you're going to abide by the rules of this house. However, I know that this is not easy for you, so I'm going to give you the space to flourish. I'm going to give you the space you need, whatever space you need, to make sure that you get used to the system. You can ask questions and you can be who you are or be who you want to be. And we see a Will go from being, stuck up a little bit to actually being part of the family. But also, this Will messes up with Viv
Mm. The
sometimes.
mom.
Yeah. He messes up with Vivian and not obviously not like in a cheating type of way, but like he forgets to say something, doesn't communicate something, he says something out of pocket, whatever. And we see a man owning up to his mistakes and apologizing. And not just apologizing, but moving forward. So Uncle Phil from the 90s was a excellent dad, but this Uncle Phil is an excellent dad and teaches us how to be a good husband too.
Mm.
And to deal with curveballs, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And also how to be a power mover, man. That's what he does. He's like a kingpin, but not drug wise. Just
So, your next, because I mean we kind of had the same one here.
yeah.
So
So
we're both on the third, on our third.
here's my curveball. Bill Cosby. Oh, see this. You gotta wait. What did I say? I said it at the beginning. We're isolating the actors
Yeah,
from their roles.
yeah.
Okay. Bill Cosby.
Yo,
The Huxtable family was the epitome of what a family should look like.
I didn't watch too much of the
The
Cosby
Cosby
Show.
Show, it was such a good show, bro. Bill Cosby, even after
You gonna lose followers for this one?
so, bro, I'm just being honest,
No,
straight
go
up.
ahead, go ahead.
What I'm saying is Bill Cosby on the show
Mm-hmm.
and even outside of the show was really a good father figure. Now, what that man was doing during the show behind the scenes and all that, I know nothing about. That's not he's in jail for a reason.
Yeah.
You feel me? But Bill Cosby, in my opinion, was a really good father figure. In fact, he was considered the standard of fathers in America, in Black America, for the longest time.
Yeah, I know that much. Yeah,
You know, and he did have issues with black men acting up, obviously, but he did come off a little bit racist towards black people because of that. Because he was
in the show.
no, like in real life, because he
Oh,
was really hard towards them. Like, yo,
oh.
y'all are ruining it for everyone else.
Mm.
What's going on? So Bill Cosby, I remember an episode when I forgot her name, one of the girls, I think it was Cleo. I'm not sure. She goes off to Baltimore without any permission, and then she comes home, and then the parents start to, correct her.
Right.
The mom is going at her, and Bill was just like there supporting the mom, like, yeah, you're gonna listen to this, like, and then afterwards, she's like, how do you feel? You know, that was that part of this. Now here comes the nurturing part of this conversation, and it was
Which,
just
which you would think is vice versa.
exactly. And then he was a soft spoken man with authority. That's what I liked about him. He didn't have to raise his voice. He
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to be. He didn't have to like enforce his authority. He was the authority of the home,
Yeah,
and he was respected.
that's good.
So yeah, Bill Cosby on the show, okay, was a good father figure. There you go.
Hey man.
That was my curveball, man.
All right. So I got two more. So
Go
I don't
ahead.
know how much time we got, but
Yeah, we got time.
Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith.
I have a confession.
What? Oh, don't tell me you've never seen that movie.
I've never seen that movie.
No, bro.
I've only ever seen the memes.
Bro, well, which one? The one that he's like clapping, like,
Where he's crying.
oh, and he's crying?
Yeah,
Bro, you gotta see that
I will
movie.
watch it today. Nah. You know what? Time out. Time out. I promised Manny that I was gonna watch the Batman.
You still haven't seen the
I
new one?
still haven't seen the new Batman movie, bro.
I thought you was a fan.
I am. I'm just.
Well, you're a busy guy. You're on the road and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just. I don't know.
It's all right.
So I
I
have to watch the Batman first, but Pursuit of Happiness is on the list.
hope you invite me over to watch one of them.
Let's watch both of them together. Whatever.
Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness. I forgot his name. Something Gardner. The movie, he's homeless. He's trying to. He's creating this thing for a business.
Right.
For like it's for like the medical field or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it does because it's been a while. But he's basically homeless. He's going from shelter to shelter. He's like donating blood to in order to get money. Meanwhile, he's kind of pretending like he's not really homeless.
Okay.
He's not showing it in his job. Like he shows up, suit and tie, everything, hair kind of done, whatever. So everybody just looks at him like he's a regular Joe. Like he got his place to stay. But meanwhile, outside of it, the dude is like going through it.
Yeah.
And the one scene, man, like he has a little kid too. Jaden obviously
Mhm.
plays his son in the movie, and he's making it happen for this kid. Like he's buying him because meanwhile, sometimes as a dad, you don't want to see the struggle. You want your kids to see the struggle. You want him
Mhm.
to see that everything is fine. So he's like telling him, he's like, oh no, we're just going from this home to home because whatever. And he's buying him fast food, McDonald's, whatever, with the little bit of money that he's getting, and he's not eating anything himself. And the one scene, man, when they're in the subway, I don't know if you've seen that one. Well, you haven't seen the movie. Basically, the shelter that they were going to, they were late for the like, they basically didn't get a room that night because they
Okay.
were late. And he didn't catch the bus. They basically had to run to wherever the shelter was, and they had to stay a night in a New York subway. So he did, he went into the bathroom in the New York subway and he locked the door and he kind of just put out toilet paper on the floor
Mhm.
and he just laid there with his son. And he told his son, he's like, I want you to close your eyes, like pretend like we're in a cave and there's dinosaurs around. And then he's basically playing with him, like, oh, hurry, the dinosaurs are chasing us. And he's, the kid is imagination, whatever, still not understanding. And he goes into the bathroom and he locks the door and he's just there holding to his son. He's like, okay, we're safe here in the cave. You can fall asleep. And the kid falls asleep and he's like, and someone's trying to like go into the bathroom. And they're like shaking it. And I
Mhm.
guess that's his realization of like, bro, I'm really in a bathroom with my child.
Mhm.
And he's like just starts crying and crying. And the reason why I put him on the list is because even though he had nothing,
He
literally
was a
nothing,
good father.
bro, he was just doing whatever he can to protect his son.
Yeah.
He was doing whatever. And one of the things we were talking about, the education, there was a part in the movie where his son is like shooting a basketball and he's like, oh, I want to be a basketball player. And he's like, that's good that you want to be a basketball player and, try to do something with your mind as well.
Yeah.
So he was also kind of realistic. He wasn't really killing the dream, but he's kind of realistic.
Yeah.
And he just throughout the whole show, I just love that he protected the innocence of his child and was like, I don't want you to really know that I'm going through it. Like we are poor, homeless, whatever. Like I just want you to know that we're doing all right.
Yeah.
So that's why he's in my list. You gotta watch
I
this
gotta
movie.
watch that movie, man.
You do. You might cry.
I probably will.
You might cry. No pun intended. You probably will.
Okay. Here's one that's gonna come out of left field.
Okay.
Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Is that the fire guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
I
fa-
still don't know who. I don't watch Avatar, but I kind of know that he was kind of like one of those tough.
I can't with you right now, but whatever.
But you haven't seen Uncle Phil. I mean, you haven't seen.
It's
Whatever.
okay. It's okay because here's the thing: I can watch that movie in a matter of hours. If you're gonna watch that
I'm
show,
not.
okay, get ready to cry if you do. That's all I'm gonna tell you. So, just to recap, Prince Zuko was banished from the Fire Nation because he disrespected his dad, basically. Which he didn't really disrespect his dad. He standed up for a fleet of people that they were going to sacrifice
Okay.
to win the war. He said that this was disrespectful towards him because it was in his war room, and he was basically banished from his home, from his nation. His uncle wasn't even sent with him. He went with him to protect him this whole time. He tried to guide him in the right path, protect him from all the terrible ideologies of this country. And at the end of the show, he becomes the person who stands up to everybody obviously besides Aang, the Avatar. He stands up to everybody and forges his own path. There's so many wise things that Iroh says to this kid. And even when in season 2, at the end of it, when he betrays his uncle and his uncle goes to jail, and every day Zuko would sneak into jail because at that point he was restored back into his nation. He sneaks into jail to see Uncle Iroh, and Iroh was not talking to him. He was just giving the
Cold shoulder.
cold shoulder. It's funny because in jail, like he was a fat guy, but in jail he got ripped.
Yeah.
Right, that's a whole different thing. Anyway, uh, at the end of it, when they meet up in a whole different place, he meets Iroh. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, whatever," and then he just interrupts him and gives him a hug. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were mad at me. I thought you hated him." He's like, "I wasn't mad at you. I just thought I was afraid that you lost your way." So I'm like, damn. And it hurts a little bit harder because the original voice actor from Uncle Iroh, he died in the middle of, I don't know if after the show was finished or the season. You remember the guy who did the voice for Aku and Samurai Jack?
Yeah.
That was Uncle Iroh's voice, Mako. So yeah, that's a top tier father figure for me because it wasn't even the father. He took on the role, and he basically
Well, like Uncle Phil, kind of.
exactly. And interestingly enough, Azula, which is Zuko's sister, was raised with the actual father, and she turned out to be a psychopath. So that's how it goes, man. Probably the first non-relatable one on my list, but that's it. I got one more, but
Yeah, I got one more too. This one's kind of for, I guess. I like how he portrayed a role, but it's a little more comedic as well because he didn't really interact as much.
right,
Mr. Foot in the Ass himself,
Mr. Redman.
Mr. Red Foreman.
Oh, Red Foreman. Did I say Redman?
Yes, you did.
Red Foreman.
Red Foreman from that '70s show.
Yes.
I just liked that he kind of also wow, I had somebody else here and I didn't even name them. Okay, whatever.
You can if we got time.
Yeah, Red Foreman. He was kind of a little bit like Uncle Phil in the sense of like he wants you to learn as you go. Like he's
Yeah.
not gonna baby you. He's not gonna tell you all these cute little things. Like I don't remember him ever saying "I love you" in the show, to be honest. Which is
I
not,
think he did one time, and it was a big thing. Like it was a thing.
yeah. Which obviously as a dad, I'm not gonna just be like this stone cold guy.
Yeah.
But I just like that he wanted to make a man out of the son. He wanted to make a man out of Eric. He wasn't gonna be like, "Oh, why you crying?" No, he was like, "Get your ass up. You down for the get your ass up. That's it. Oh, you messed up. Well, too bad.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Life goes on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Donna left you. Too bad. I know you loved her, but you effed up yourself."
I also like the fact that he was such a tough guy,
Yeah.
but he had a soft spot for Kitty.
Oh yeah.
That was like
Yeah, his wife.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
okay. But do you remember that one episode with Hyde? That Hyde was homeless.
Bro, that too. I'm glad you mentioned that too, because Hyde wasn't even his son.
He wasn't. Like, and he was like very adamant. Like, I don't want none of these kids in my house.
Yeah.
I don't want none of these kids in my house. But then one day he goes over to where Hyde lives, and he saw the dump that it was. He's like, "Get your effing clothes, get your effing this, effing
Yeah.
that,
Oh yeah.
and get in the effing car." And he took him to live with him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you see, that's integrity in a man right there. That's a lot.
It is the fact that he did take Hyde, and Hyde was completely the opposite of Eric. Like Hyde was a stoner. He was like, and if we really think about it,
A lot of the people on this list are in jail.
Red, Red, Red Foreman. He fought in Vietnam and everything, so he was very patriotic.
Yeah.
And then Hyde was like
A hippie.
The hippie, like, oh, peace, the government sucks, this and that. And it's like he still took him in apart from his beliefs and everything and being a
Yeah.
stoner. And he's like, I'm gonna make a man out of you too.
Yeah, bro. Even Fez, the most irrelevant one to
Yeah.
him, basically in his mind.
Yeah.
Even he got some love towards Fez too. So that
Yeah.
says a lot about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Red Foreman. I can't believe I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
You got one more? Or is your list done?
I got one more. Carl Winslow.
He's on my he's on my list too. He was the last one.
Yeah, Carl Winslow was such a. I mean, he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still
He is.
alive. Such a good father figure. You know why?
To me, he's like right there with Uncle Phil.
Yeah, exactly. He's right there with Uncle Phil because of Steve Urkel. In my mind, he had, unlike Uncle Winslow, he didn't have all the means.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't rich. He wasn't
He
wealthy.
wasn't rich. I remember one time he actually tried to get a loan, and he couldn't get it because of his income. And the funny thing is, he was trying to get a loan to send what's her name, his daughter,
Laura.
Laura, to school, and he couldn't get financial aid because he was making too much money. So that was a really cool dynamic. But uh, I like the fact that he stood for his kids a lot. He would go like toe to toe with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He tackled a lot of race based issues
Yeah.
like very maturely with his kids. Uh, he was
I like that. So in a few episodes, he also had a few arguments with his wife. So his like it seemed a little more real than Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
yeah.
It seemed to and man that I love that show. I love Family Matters.
Family Matters is a great show,
Yeah,
straight up, and it's a great show because it doesn't shy away from certain topics, which is why The Fresh Prince is a great show.
yeah, the new one.
No, well,
The,
both of them.
yeah,
The new one is just like straight up, like
yeah,
oh, drugs, sex, money, whatever
yeah,
type thing. But the old one, it's like let's be a little bit more sensitive about these subjects, but still talk about them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, Carl Winslow is the man, and again, like I was saying, Uncle Phil, he had the benefit of his income. Carl Winslow was a cop, and for you to be a black cop, you're
In
already
the
dealing with
'90s
so
or
much
late
stigma. Yeah,
'80s.
exactly. Like the people who you work with don't really like you, and your people don't like you either because you're a cop.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was a difficult dynamic.
that's crazy.
Uh, the dynamic he has with his son was
With
interesting.
Eddie.
With Eddie,
Yeah,
a lot of because Eddie was dumb, bro.
yeah.
Eddie was not the sharpest pencil in the box. But even Eddie learned a lot of things from his dad, and you can actually see the evolution of Eddie from the first
Oh
season to the
yeah,
last,
yeah.
where he's not
He ended up
that
becoming a cop too.
exactly.
Hmm.
So that's the end of my list, man.
Yeah, that's the end of my list too, man. So we got Mufasa, Uncle Phil, Carl, Happiness, Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith, and Red Foreman.
Yeah, and I got Bill Cosby, Danny Tanner. Uh,
My list is better.
bro, it's a
No,
list.
I'm kidding.
We talked about good dads here. Um, but yeah, the reason we want to talk about this for those of you who don't know, uh, we we want to recognize that single fatherhood is a thing, that fatherhood is a thing, and that fatherlessness in America is the single biggest issue that we face.
Yeah,
We had better role models back then. Currently, I cannot point at too many people that I'm like, yeah, I want my kids to model after this person.
right.
I cannot single out a single person. I don't know why. Maybe tell me if I'm wrong, or maybe you've had this thought. Whenever we have kids, are you going to tell your kids to watch the cartoons that you used to watch back in the day?
I'm not gonna tell them, but
Or are
I'll
you gonna guide them towards that path?
yeah,
Like, yo,
yeah,
so get that Coco Melon out of here.
yeah,
Here
yeah.
we got like some kids next door. Look at this.
You're definitely watching Dragon Ball Z.
Hell yeah. That's R.I.P.
Oh,
Oh my God. R.I.P. Akira Toriyama. We mourned this week. We lost a big one, a
yeah,
great
we
one.
lost the goat.
Bro, I said it. A celebrity death has never hit me this hard.
I saw that. Yeah,
Never.
yeah,
Like I don't know. R.I.P. to Akira Toriyama.
yeah. But my kids are definitely gonna get a bit of that feel.
Yeah,
And yes, I think the '90s were kids were way better than the ones from like 2010 now.
brother.
Whatever.
Obviously, but I feel like that trend is gonna turn around.
The only thing that they got now is like technology.
No. Here's what I feel like millennial parents, right? Millennial parents, which is us, feel like we are noticing how terrible things are going, and I feel like we're gonna do a very conscious effort to turn it around. That's how I feel.
I mean, I can't speak for anybody else's kids, but my kids definitely we're gonna have a balance, and I hope that I can have some type of a balance. Be my own father, like be my own example of what I wanted as a father. But like hopefully I can get a few traits from the ones that I have on this list
Exactly.
that can
That's the whole
definitely
point.
benefit.
That's the whole point of this
Yeah,
list.
because I don't want to be too soft and I don't want to be too hard, but I want to be loving, but I want to give irrational grace as well.
Exactly. I want to be communicative,
Yeah.
right? Talk to them. I want to have a good enough relationship with my children that they can talk to me.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I don't want you to mess up just because you can talk to dad. You
Yeah.
feel me? I want you to. I really. This is gonna sound bad. I want you to try to impress me. Oh, yeah, Dad, I did do the dishes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dad, I did do
I
this.
see what you mean.
You know, and not like, oh, you got to earn my love because
Yeah.
you're gonna have it all the time. But I want you to do whatever you can to basically to make your father feel like you're doing your best. And if you're struggling, that's what your father is here for, to help you out. Oh, what are you struggling with? Oh, you need help with this? But I'm not really no lazy as no bums, bro. I'm not doing that.
No,
Mm-mm.
facts.
My father did way too much work for me not to turn out a bum. For
Yeah.
me to go ahead and raise a bum.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you. So, what we got, bro?
That's it, man.
That's it.
That's it. That was today's episode.
It was a good episode.
It was a good
It was
episode.
fun. I hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed it.
Maybe we should do mothers, sitcom moms.
We could do TV moms one day.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. More than fathers, actually.
Yeah, true.
But with that being said, that was this episode of Stand Comfortable. Y'all take it easy and see you in the next one.
Peace.